Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another review for Sasuke Retsuden Manga Chapter 8, and today we got quite a bit of good information to discuss because there's more added to the story than what we got in the anime version, including Sasuke doing the one thing that he did not do in the anime version of the fight, which is bust out his Susanoo and start hacking away through the army of the Edo Tensei. And we also have a scene that both the anime and the manga cut out that was a pretty decent moment for Sasuke's character and relationship dynamic, which I will definitely talk about in the review itself. With my initial thoughts out of the way, let's back things up and let's dive into the recap portion of the review. So the chapter opens up with Sasuke immediately putting all the pieces together and realizing that Jiji was the one who was working with Zansuru, and while the prime minister is gloating about his plans seemingly coming to fruition, Sasuke arrives on the scene at the prison to see both the Titan and the other dragon beasts killing all the prisoners with no mercy, which leads to Sasuke mercilessly stepping in and cutting off the head of one of the dragon beasts and then ordering Minho to protect the prisoners who aren't being eaten up by the dragon beasts, with some of the dragon beasts just taking the time to start feasting on the dead bodies that are around them. It's then that Sasuke goes into complete panic mode because when he starts seeing the destroyed research center, his mind immediately goes towards Sakura because that's exactly where Sakura should have been, and when he sees the Titan further destroy it, we get a really good set of panels that focus solely on Sasuke's eyes that shows the panic beginning to start creeping in all the way immediately, and we see Sasuke immediately cut on his sharingan, calling out for Sakura, all while trying to use his sharingan to find the location of her chakra, which, as a reminder, the sharingan can see chakra as a color, which is why Sasuke has it on, because right now he's trying to find that ring that he gave to Sakura that has his chakra, because he'd be able to locate it even if Sakura's chakra is being suppressed by that poison. Meanwhile, buried beneath the rubble, Sakura tries to push it off on her own, but she's unable to mold any of her chakra to enhance her strength and remove her debris. However, before the debris with the spikes on it can fall on top of her and crush in her skull, Sasuke is shown calling out for her, and Sakura blacks up only to wake up with Sasuke performing medical ninjutsu. And it's here we get a change from the light novel, where in the novel Sasuke not only goes into a full-blown panic attack, very much reminding you of the small child version of Sasuke who was running towards his home hoping that his parents hadn't been killed by whoever did the Uchiha massacre, which he didn't know was Itachi at the time. Sasuke in the novel has a panic attack over the possibility of losing Sakura, but when he does find her and is using medical ninjutsu, we actually see a softer side of Sasuke, where he not only tells Sakura to stop apologizing to him while she's in this condition, but what we don't see in the manga is that when she breaks down into tears like she did in the manga chapter, Sasuke's wiping away her tears and he's comforting Sakura. It might not seem like a lot to you, but given the hard exterior of Sasuke that we normally see, the more comforting and nurturing side of him is a sign of the growth of the character, especially when we consider how he once treated Sakura in the past. But most importantly, what that scene shows you is the danger of husband and wife together on a mission, and why this type of a mission with blood relatives, or in this particular case married couples, it isn't the norm. There's usually a degree of separation in most instances when teams are being picked for missions, because emotions tend to get involved and they will cloud the judgment of even the best battle-hardened shinobi, as we see with Sasuke in the light novel itself. This leads to Sasuke helping Sakura up, and as Zansuru is taking in all the carnage that's going on around him, watching as one prisoner literally gets half his face sliced off by the talons of one of the dragon beasts. In a scene more gruesome than anything we got in the anime, we have Jiji remind Zansuru that they had a deal, and Zansuru is very cryptic with his words when he's talking to Jiji. He says that he plans to go to Nagare village and seek out the remains of Jiji's lover Margot, which we as the audience know Margot's alive. Instead, he only tells him that he will find her remains, which is confirmation of something that I initially suspected when I was reading Kakashi Retsuden and the Sasuke Retsuden novels, which is that we know Margot is alive, but Zansuru might have been bold enough to just kill her once he got to Nagare village, because he said he would bring bring her remains to Jiji. That's a nice play on words right there, and the idea of him trying to betray Jiji after the fact as well is not crazy, because at that point in time, if they succeeded, the Prime Minister would have been in possession of a weapon left behind by the Sage's Sixth Pass with the power to flood the entire country. The Prime Minister would have the throne of Redaku, so Jiji would no longer be needed, and as we've seen in the series before, shinobi are viewed as tools to be used up and discarded. So I do think this was a confirmation that the Prime Minister was ultimately going to betray Jiji after they got to Nagare Village. Now, we then see Jiji order one of the dragon beasts to kill Penzilla, but after Minnow steps in to protect him and disobeys his orders, Jiji realizes that Sasuke must have been the one that broke the control over Minnow, and Jiji orders the dragon beast to attack Minnow, which leads to another change from the light novel, but one that's for the better. Sasuke steps in to protect Minnow by wrapping him in his Susanoo and using one of the Susanoo arms to start destroying the dragon beast with ease, and Sasuke's looking dead ahead at Zansuru and Jiji with his eternal mangekyou sharingan activated, letting it be known that the one-armed Uchiha isn't playing around anymore and he's about to bring things to a close. Now, in the light novel, this scene is actually different. So in the light novel, Sasuke sees Zansuru and he thinks about busting out the Susanoo to wrap things up right away, wipe out all the dragon beasts, and take out Zansuru all in one shot. But when he sees Minnow fighting and trying to protect him, he picks up Minnow and he hurls Minnow with one arm unassisted all the way at the Titan, which is really impressive when you think about the fact that Sasuke is literally throwing a 100-pound raptor with one arm all the way through the air up to the Titan itself, which is taller than the research building. That's one of those times that really gives you a clear example of how much chakra can be used to actually amp up the stats of a shinobi, because otherwise a normal person couldn't throw a 100-pound object that far through the air. Sasuke then takes advantage of Minnow not being on the ground in order to generate a lightning storm that skewers all the dragons on the ground with the lightning bolts itself. However, based off where the manga ends, it's pretty safe to say that this scene won't be in the next chapter unless the manga is going to make a change and have Sasuke use a Susanoo to do what he did on his own with his own one hand in the novel, and this scene should have been in the chapter itself, but again, it's an adaptation, so it won't be a one-to-one retelling from the light novel, as I've been stressing from the beginning. But the manga by far is doing a much better job than the anime, which again, that's no disrespect to anyone who worked on the anime, but that's the problem with trying to cram in the whole story into 5 episodes like they did with some of those Shippuden novels set after the 4th Ninja War. However, it does look like my initial prediction on the length of the Sasuke Retsuden manga is going to turn out to be true. 12 chapters in length, so it's long enough for 3 physical volumes. Right now, we're at a total of 10 chapters for the series itself. We still have quite a bit of story to go through. We have Sasuke's moment of bloodlust that the anime didn't show you, the full battle of Sakura versus Jiji, and the full prologue of the novel itself, including the scene with Sarada that the anime never showed us, and whatever manga original ending they're going to do for Sasuke Retsuden, where they find the cure for Naruto, even though Naruto never gets cured in this story, but is actually cured during the events of Naruto Retsuden, which takes place after this story, which Orochimaru fans are probably punching the air given the role that Orochimaru plays in that story. I think the beauty of what we got in this chapter is how the story slowed down just enough where it needed to, but still managed to keep the pace going in order to focus on the eyes of the different characters, especially Sasuke at one point, and that transition where you see Sakura's eyes go from being closed via the blacked out panel to them being wide open over the next few panels. That was really good. Kimura Shingo does a really good job at mimicking Masashi Kishimoto's style, especially the way that he chooses to flow everything with his panels. I did think the ending of the chapter off with the double page spread with the Susanoo was a really smart idea. It's a change from the light novel, but the small details here, I actually like what we have because of the weight that the Susanoo gives to the pages, where it takes up a majority of the space and the way that the arm is moving in the direction of the panels that are off to the side, as if the Susanoo is pushing those panels out of the way to make more space for itself. That was a really good choice. The stuff like this is why I really hope we see more from Kimura Shingo in the future, perhaps even drawing more of the light novels in manga format, like Sasuke Shinin, the Teacher Star Pupil, or continuing doing the Retsuden storyline with Kakashi Retsuden where he fights 300 mercenaries, or Naruto Retsuden where things get even crazier as the time's running out to cure Naruto, and we see moments of reflection from Naruto as he thinks how badly he wanted Neji and his parents to be alive to see the changes he made to the village as Hokage. That being said, I'm curious to know how you guys enjoyed the chapter. While you think that over, click here to catch up on the other reviews from the Sasuke Retsuden manga from start to finish.